So let us start with the definition of doping. Now, doping is actually the use of banned performance enhancing drugs, or you can say the illicit drugs, which are prohibited by law either in sports or in general life. And when any athlete or any player, any sports person use such type of drugs to enhance their performance, it is known as doping. Now, let us come to certain facts of doping. The misuse of drugs and medicines by athletes has been a problem more than 30 years. It's not new that something has been used recently, but it is the thing which have been used in past also for more than 30 years. It is considered as one of the major problem in the industry of the sports when the athletes use certain kinds of prohibited substances. Doping or DOP, which is referred to an alcoholic drink usually in South Africa, but now the term has changed and it includes all those substances which are prohibited mostly in almost all the countries. Coming to how athletes consume drugs, what happens to them, how they procure the drugs and how they consume the drugs, it actually depends. First of all, if you will see here, it is either by purpose or the second thing is accidentally. Now if they are taking it by purpose, means it is through self administration because they want to enhance their performance, and so they have been pressurized by the peers, which is called as peer pressure. It can be one of the factor, or it is the advice from the coach, or to make his name as well in the sports industry, so he is advising the athlete to take the certain kind of substance. And then it can be accidentally as well. Accidentally, again, self administration, which the person was not knowing that what he is taking, he or she, and he accidentally took it and he has enhanced performance, so he became habitual of that particular substance. Then we have doctors who are prescribing. Now doctors can prescribe this thing in two conditions. One, when the person actually needs the certain substance because of medically unfitness, or there is certain problem, underlying problems like diabetes or other problems for which doctors will prescribe, so they can be taken accidentally. But as soon as the person, means the athlete, identified of doping, he is actually being disqualified from the competition until and unless he proves a medical record which provides a clear-cut understanding that he is suffering from any such disease or disorder which requires him to take certain prohibited substance. Then certain paramedics and quacks we called as the clandestine labs, or the local drug suppliers which sell the drug with other name, and they say that it will increase the performance drastically. And why do the performers take the drug, whether men or women? So there are two main reasons which have been identified by the researchers. One is the physiological reason, other is the social reason. So let's consider the physiological reason. If they want to increase their oxygen transport, because only then the performance can be increased. Then they want to build more muscle mass, they want to increase the energy, or they want to mask any injury. So this can be one of the physiological factor. They want to lose weight, or they want to increase their motivation and to increase their aggression. When they will be more aggressive, they will perform better. It is a common thinking. And then the social reasons, because they are prepared to win at all costs. They do not want to lose the game at any cost, so they are trying very hard physically as well as mentally, and by taking certain substances like this which are illicit, which are not allowed. So they want to win and they think that they will win by taking certain substances, and they believe that everyone else is doing it, so why not he or she should do. So this is the another peer pressure. And then there is a pressure to win from the coaches. Coaches are putting more and more pressure onto them that the other person is doing very well in comparison to you, so you also need to take care. And then they have fear of not winning, and they want to overcome that fear. This fear, this anxiety of not winning. If a person have been failed once or twice, so now he want to overcome that fear. So what he will do, he will go to these kind of substances to overcome the fear. So once he will win, then he will gain the confidence. That's what he think. Now the prohibited, there are certain substances which are classified into so many prohibited categories, and then there is a list of substances which have been provided. So in this category, first is the anabolic agent. So in anabolic agent, the most commonly used androgenic steroid is testosterone to boost up. Even the males and females both use the testosterone either via injection or they use via tablets or whatever they can, they try. Then there are certain hormones that are used, like erythropoietin is there, then growth hormones are there, which are usually the insulin like growth factors, IGF-1, MGFs, etc. Then insulin also is being used as a performance enhancer. Then there are beta 2 agonists. Then there are certain agents with anti-estrogenic activity. Then next comes the diuretics and other masking agents to mask the pain, to mask the injuries. Then the stimulants, say caffeine is one of the stimulants. So you must have seen the athletes or the sports person taking caffeine quite a lot even before the exercise or before the performance or before the competition. So it is one of the kind of stimulant. But other prohibited stimulants are amphetamine, then ethylephrine, modafinil, which has been used widely by the athletes. Then narcotic substances are also there, and glucocorticoids, alcohol and beta blockers. All these are the substances which are usually prohibited by law. Only they are allowable as per the doctor's advice in certain medical conditions if they exist. So what happens actually, many times the performer or the athletes, they used to prove or they tend to prove this, that they are suffering from such medical conditions, so the doctors have advised them. But it is not actually true that they are suffering, but they prove it otherwise, so they should be allowed in the competition. Now there are certain standards for testing. Now international standards for testing is there, then international standards for laboratory is there, ISL, through which there are certain agencies which are accredited around the world, and one of the agency is in India also. And as I told you, in India we have National Anti-Doping Agency, NADA, which is there, and there is WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency. Then how the doping is controlled in India? So first, as I told you, that National Anti-Doping Agency is there, who is responsible for doping control. The main function of this organization is to promote, coordinate and monitor the various doping control program in sports in India. Then National Anti-Doping Agency, they have to collaborate with the World Anti-Doping Agency if there is an international sports meet which is happening. So both have to work together, and then adopting and implementing anti-doping rules and policies which is coming from WADA and applying them within the country and the people, the competitors who are going outside the country as well. Now they also do the sample collection from the sports person, then imposing sanction and or to ban athletes who violates the anti-doping rules. All these are the functions of the WADA and NADA. Then the collected samples are sent to the National Dope Testing Laboratory, NDTL, which is actually accredited by WADA and NADA, and there are many NDTL labs which are presently working in the country, and they take care of all these drug abuse cases in sports.